Wi-Fi was not feasible in that warehouse. It's not a good area for people to go. We need a commercial area so people can have access to things. That's the smart. But I think it's about concern that we have to meet it where people can get home safe. And if your phone, you have access to phone capability.
Comments seriously. I think they have been voiced to the chair before. I do not know, I was not involved in the process to change from Lincoln to I was not involved in the process to change the date either, so I really skip it. I think it's a bigger question down to bring to the board.
Thank you.
And the next meeting. Thank you. Okay. Dreams are from here.
You know where Kelly Furniture House used to be? Down here by the bridge. That's where it's at.
Oh, that's, yeah.
That's what they call it. You know what she said? That's what it is. It's Bronx for you, then so that you can walk there. But like you said, I'm not walking about the cliff. You can't walk about the cliff.
All right, we'll discuss that after the meeting.
Okay.
That's okay. All right, so we call to order introductions. If everybody could just go around the table and introduce themselves. I will start. Justin Fernandez Byrne, Chair, Board Member and Chair of the Senior Engagement Committee.
Andy Brian Brown.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Josue Melendez. I'm the Bronx Government Affairs Officer for the New York City Department of Aging.
She's also part of this Eastside Senior Housing here.
Oh,
and what did get court? Yeah.
Oh.
And introduce the district manager to the board.
Okay, did everybody have an opportunity to take a quick look at the minutes? Can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes necessary.
Motion by Ms. Brown, second, let's do a second. All in favor? Aye. Correction.
I don't see the attendance.
Is that a policy going forward?
They,
So the attendance sheet is a separate document. When you get a request, we can provide the attendance sheet.
okay, this is minutes, should be minutes of.
Historically, looking at the minutes of the previous district manager and the community coordinator, it was not part of the minutes. It was put a separate document. Only when the general board was that part of the minutes the attendance count. So we have the video must review that we have available.
It is accessible.
It's accessible.
I do remember,
Signing sheets are accessible. All of everything is
I do
accessible.
remember
I
that.
do remember, but it was way back, it was a few years ago that each committee and even the board, they just put down the attendance. Not saying it's right or wrong, just saying historically, that's what it used to be. So, the new policy going forward is that the attendance sheet will be kept separate from the minutes, and anyone is entitled to read those minutes. And they need to for the attendance. Okay. I think we were up to any, against minutes, abstentions. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. So Mr. Melendez just introduced himself, and he is our guest speaker today, and we sort of asked him to speak a little overview of whatever resources and services are available to those of us in the senior category and any upcoming events, and then we'll have a Q&A. Mr. Melendez.
Thank you so much for having me, Chair. As Brian said, my name is Josue Melendez. I'm the Bronx Government Affairs Officer for the Department of Aging. Been in that position for a little over 4 years now. So my job essentially is to kind of be a liaison for community boards and elected officials when it comes to our services and kind of communicate what our programs are and how we're able to reach older adults. The PowerPoint that you have filled today is a shortened version of a presentation that sometimes I'll make to international visitors. So some people get a lot of people The countries who come and want to get an idea for how we kind of structure our services and our programs. And so this is sort of getting an advanced version of that presentation. So as you can see the first slide, just to engaging our commissioner, Cortez Vasquez. Just give you a little bit of
He wasn't able to pull it up.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. So if you're following along, it was so the first slide is just our agency. The second is a little bit of information about us. We're the largest area agency on aging in the United States, meaning that we are the largest agency specifically committed to dealing with older adults in the United States. So a lot of cities, as I mentioned, a lot of countries look towards us for inspiration and for direction on how to deal and handle aging-specific matters, because we do have such a large aging population. Because New York City tends to lead the world in a lot of other categories, just the way we approach things, considering how many people are here and some of the factors that we have to deal with. The next slide you see is just a little overview of some of the demographics. Our older adult population is currently 1.73 million people over the age of 60 in New York. That's about 20% of the population. It means 60 and over. So for us as an agency, that means that our charge is to provide services and resources for that 20% of New Yorkers. Now we're not unfortunately reaching all 20%. I definitely wish we could. We had the resources to do so, but what we do have, we're able to reach as many as possible. But always the goal is to continue to improve, to continue to increase resources, and continue to work with some of our partners, elected officials, and make sure that we can really do the most of what we have available at our disposal. The next slide, I spend most of the time on, is the general overview of our department, of our agency. So the services we provide, whether it's community-based, there's home-based, and then there's additional. The only correction that I will say is, I believe on your PowerPoint, under additional services, I believe you have the Grandparent Resource Center listed. That unfortunately is no longer one of our programs. It was folded into the foster grandparent program. Yeah, so with some of the pegs, the cuts that we've had to do, unfortunately, throughout the city, we focused on minimizing programs and folding them into other existing programs in order to make sure that we don't have to close any centers or really reduce any other programs like transportation, case management, or on to firing any staff. So thankfully, for the past 3 years, we've been able to avoid closing any centers and firing any staff in general. And been able to continue to reach the same population with the same amount of service. As I said, even though the Grandparent Resource Center doesn't exist in actual title, we still fold it into some of the other services, so you can still get those same kinds of services, just in different programs.
Of course. If you have questions, hold them to the end and write them down.
That's fine.
Like our chat. So we'll let you finish this whole presentation.
And I'll be happy to go back and touch on things.
Okay.
So to give you an idea, the community-based services, those are things that we have to do directly within the communities. That will be your older adult centers, our NORCs. You have mental health initiatives for older adults. That also includes transportation, caregivers, things along those lines. So I know a lot of your members are older adult centers. I've actually seen you going to report before. When the commissioner came to do our little the discussion for having some issues, I was there and I remember seeing that as well. Yes. Yeah, so that's what one of the things that we'll do is we have older adult centers throughout the community. There's 300 in New York City currently, a little over 300, and that's our main access for reaching older adults and making sure they have access to a lot more services. The next category would be home-based services. So these are things that we're providing directly towards older adults in the home. That would be case management, home delivered meals, a lot of friendly visiting. Also, one of the things we do is we have an elder justice unit. They deal with older adults who've been the victims of crimes or scams, and unfortunately have kind of forced to go through the criminal justice system, usually as a victim of it. And we'll connect them with mental health resources, we'll connect them with KYPD, and just kind of any way that we can support them after they've been unfortunately victims. The last would be additional services, so these are some of the other supplementary things that we're able to help older adults with. That includes health insurance. We have a unit called HICAP. It's our health insurance information counseling and assistance program. So if you ever have any questions related to Medicare, Medicaid, or just general health insurance, you can call their line and they'll be able to walk you through the process, how the rollover works, and how you can change plans, and what you have to consider. There's also Aging Connect and Air Connect. Aging Connect, I usually compare it to 311 for older adults. So you can reach out to that line and just kind of provide them some information information, what you're dealing with, and they can let you know specifically what resources are in your community, how you can get access to them, and what you'll be able to benefit from if you are looking for any kind of benefits or services. And it's also a senior employment. So we've currently 4 or 5 different kinds of older adult employment programs, ranging for people from 50 and up. So that could be someone who's trying to learn new skills, to retirees, to former city employees who are looking to stay active. We do have programs that put them in as well. Part-time positions just to kind of contribute and also kind of keep them active, because we do find sometimes a lot of older adults when they retire who still feel as if like there's a listlessness, or there's something that they want to still stay active. And some of them, as you're active in community boards, some of them want to be active in work. So we offer that opportunity as well. If you go to the next page or the next slide, this would be where we are looking at here. This kind of guides most of our actions and our decisions within the past few years. The idea of it is that we are transferring a city where older adults are capable and able to age in place and comfortably in their own homes. Traditionally, the model for older adults and living with older adults has been people kind of shuttling along to the nursing home and then living in a supportive community like that. Whereas what we want to do is make sure that older adults can stay in their communities for as long as possible and can be comfortable in their own homes, especially they've contributed to the neighborhood, they've lived in for years, decades at a certain point. We don't think it's reasonable to have someone that just suddenly up and leave because they can no longer support themselves for one reason or another. We're trying to make it so that way you can still be fully functional and be able to live in your own home while receiving any services that you might need. Example, home delivery meals. A lot of times older adults lose the ability to care for themselves in terms of making food, cooking, preparing, or anything. And so we'll arrange for in-home services to kind of help along with that, to keep older adults in their homes to make sure that they are comfortable and safe. So as I said, this has kind of allowed us and guided us for the past few years. It also emphasizes linkages between us, a lot of our community partners, and also our community resources. So sometimes you'll see older adult centers arranging trips to museums, sometimes to Broadway plays, or the zoo, just different cultural institutions, as a way to kind of change the idea for an older adult center. It's not just go here, we'll play bingo every single day. I know a lot of people love bingo. I don't want to insult it anyway. I've had a couple of complaining about it the past couple of weeks. I couldn't complain enough. But we want to try to offer different opportunities and really try to approach aging from different and a more holistic approach. The next slide would be just a further description of the community care plan and the idea for an age inclusive New York City. So that includes making it easier for older adults to get around. So advocating for sidewalk cuts with DOT, making it easier for people to see around corners to eliminate traffic fatalities. The next slide is going to touch on some of that work that we've done, specifically the cabinets of older New Yorkers. The next slide. What that is it's a cabinet of 20 different city organizations that are all working together specifically to tackle issues related to older adults. So, as I mentioned, a good example is that is the work that we've done with DOT and that they've been carrying on with going to older adult centers and doing surveys about particular hotspot areas that they find dangerous for older adults, and getting direct feedback from older adults about what kind of changes they would like to see. So, as mentioned, sidewalk cuts where they eliminate one parking spot right from a corner, making it easier to see, making it easier for cars to see when they're turning, and eliminating the possibility for people to miss someone who's crossing, waiting for long lights, and just different crossing measures to help adults. Department of Education worked on pilot programs to combat ageism. High schools in Brooklyn, there's 13 where they were implementing anti-ageism curriculum where they're teaching teenagers the downsides of having an ageist mindset and the benefits of working with older adults and kind of seeing that there can be intergenerational contact and positive things that come out of that. So those are some of the things that we've been working on that we're hoping to continue to develop by working closely with city agencies. So a lot of times we've found that you can run into issues because of the lack of communication between us and some of the other agencies who we may be work with, but maybe not as directly as people would assume. And to handle certain issues that we might not necessarily handle directly. So, transportation is a big problem, and a lot of people reach out to accessorize, just dealing with the buses and whatnot before the meeting started. You're talking about some of the issues with the bus line being changed here and now the inability for people to ride particular lines. So whereas we don't necessarily deal with those things directly, we do work with the Department of Transportation, the MTA, so we can pass along a lot of these concerns and advocate for older adults to make sure that the changes that are being made are the most effective, or for the most part, are the most effective. We're trying to keep in mind what older adults' interests are. So the next slide is just a couple of ways to keep in contact with us: the email address, the general phone number where you can reach us. That's Connect. To make sure that's like our one. There's also our website. We also encourage people to really follow us on social media, different Facebook or Twitter, and we got our Instagram as well. We're always updating with just some of the activities that we're up to, the events, pictures of kind of what we're doing, and also any initiatives that we had. Last month was Older Americans Month, and we were really an emphasis on trying to be active and keep older adults active. So we had some different activities happening in centers throughout the month. So that's a really good way for people to keep abreast of what we're doing and kind of keep up with some of the changes that we're making. Aside from that, thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them and go back and touch on any things. I know I speak quickly, so if you want me to go emphasize anything else, just go ahead.
We can just go around, start.
I know in the past you have to understand that we had it would be something for the scene.
Oh, like a celebration?
Yeah. What
Is that our agency, the department agent?
Yeah.
Do you know how long ago that was?
That's
I have to look inside because I don't remember this. That it could be that we partnered with an agency or another office. If it's just like a general summer fair or whatnot, then they partner. I could talk to some people or something like that. Yeah.
that's it.
That's it. So you mean trips outside, like just general trips to like
Whatever. You see, like in the farm, with the senior center, and go to the transportation. So if you go like minimum, you know, you got people with waters, you got people with wheelchairs, and I just feel like you got to do something for all children. It's built with everything. It's built with everything. Don't see it. Maxes, which we all get together, but they particular landlord on the west side, like they go on what is it, Oak, what you call it? They go on the chicken. They don't have to face it. I mean, you all get together, you the same age, what's the deal?
so something from the so the residents in the building themselves are being able to get insured because they live in the building, they don't have but not specifically the center itself or just
I can understand, but I also think that they bought it for the center. What came from I know how many came and all that. The first one was original seems to be looking to find out. And I know that we talk about what I'm not, not talking. I know how to work. But now that I cannot have my seat, it's been around for the last time. And I don't know for the last time. We didn't come back to that. Other time, where my dad lived in, and the bottom line is that I can get across the street, he can come back. And I know my west side operation, they will go back to the house, but it's an act in the side. Not much of the time, but it's an act. That's what the first thing is, the better
I know transportation is a big one, but there's sometimes the contracts they give out, they're focused on the individual transportation are related to like the medical trips or what they call it the essential trips. So it doesn't have to just be medical, it's they can range grocery shopping and whatnot in terms of trips to go like to basically leisure or products along those lines. I just need to see like program officers and see how it's handled. Because I'm not sure if that's something that we fund through some contracts for transportation or if that's something that the centers themselves look to. Because I do know in the past, like I've heard in the past, some centers have their own individual buses and then maybe they take their members to places. So I'm not sure if that's something that we need to fund through or if that's something that the centers themselves would have to do. I think get some specific information about this. We have a monthly meeting with some program officers to talk about some of these issues. So I can bring it up directly and say, you know,
They went to one, but never went. About two weeks ago.
Mr. Melendez, if you would give that information back to Mr. George.
Like this, but Diana, the city council.
Elena, Jonathan?
I can speak to them. The problem is in transportation now. Before, at the bar, everything is not possible. But now, as the senior need to go to some places. No,
so what's the specific problem with transportation?
we don't have transportation.
Are you talking about accessoride or other
No,
than
we,
accessoride?
access on right is increased one.
Okay.
The other access on right, maybe 4 person can go. And it's the same. I don't find it.
So they're supposed to be providing transportation, right? I believe according to the court, should be able to provide transportation. And then I can bring up a program office and see if something happened with the contract. Because I do know that in the South Bronx, they were trying to rework the contract that they were doing in order to accommodate individual and group trips that were separated. I have to figure out to hear what the specifics came out with that and how it's worked out as part of the Bronx. So I know, for example, Bronx was great, right? There's a lot of transportation up there, and the contract is different from this part of the Bronx. But I'll get specifics.
So there is a specific company
Yeah, yeah.
contracted and they call them and they get the ride.
So what should be exactly, the older girls should be able to reach out to them and then they say, hey, I have an appointment on this day, you know, please pick me up and they'll come and arrange your transportation. That's how the contracts have worked out. I need to know what happened with this area and see who's contracted specifically. If they're not getting transportation, but they don't work, I have to figure out why they're not fulfilling that, because that should be included in part of their contract.
Is it specific to their insurance? Because I remember with my mom, she had Medicaid and she had to go for 28 days straight for radiation. And we contracted with a private company, but the Medicaid paid for it. So is it insurance based or it doesn't matter?
It depends. I'm actually going to look at this right now because I had someone, I was talking about this with someone the other day. When it comes to simple transportation, yeah, so there's certain citywide programs, like Accessoride, and then there's Century, which is another citywide program, fund. Usually if someone has lived Medicaid, because the first option is they have to go to a Medicaid provider, and if they're unable to, you know, gain access to a Medicaid transportation provider, then we'll work with them to find other transportation options. So it is usually related to their insurance.
Wouldn't it be helpful to know who provided transportation plans and why it's not?
We can find them.
Yeah, because the stop for is for the stop. Plus, a lot of these agencies, a lot of these senior centers are backed by the Secretary of Police. And the one I go to Bronx works, doesn't, senior center.
Right, yeah.
So maybe they have a sponsor before.
So with Bronx Works, so I know we'll provide the funding to Bronx Works, and they're the ones who provide the services. Yeah. And also sometimes I have heard that was an OEC or Concourse Plaza that they had a van where they were broke down and started looking for funding to get a new family. So sometimes that's an example of an older adult something does their own transportation and they do those kinds of trips, but then they don't have the funding to fulfill the next one.
So we can find out what that is.
Yeah.
Something is there.
Is it possible that the contract was lapsed, that there was an RFP? Because I do know there's an RFP for transportation. I just have to figure out what happened to specific part of the Bronx.
Betty, you have any questions? I'm see the seniors receiving HRA supplemental social services. Do y'all periodically check and make sure that their budget is up to par? Because sometimes they get cut, they don't go on.
You mean like the HRA uses to calculate?
No, I'm saying if you have, this is a senior, okay, you're concerned with their income, knowing that they have enough to live on. So whoever is the source of their income, this is what we're missing. They need to be tracked, make sure. If they're providing rent, food stamps, and a stipend, are they getting the right amount? Some seniors can't keep up with that. Are they
I
getting,
understand.
now that's one of the things.
So if someone, for example, is working with the case manager at one of our centers, a lot of times they offer financial counseling assistance with them help go over budget and whatnot, and so they can go into some of those letters and they can see some of those, someone's very confident.
But what about somebody that's not in your program?
That's what we're trying to reach out.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to reach people in a broader sense. And that's the limitation, unfortunately, of property aging is that in order for people to gain access to our resources, they have to be known to us through some means. So if they go into an old, for example, they visit like city council member's office, but they're not a member of our older adult centers, that city council member's office can refer them to us, and then we can still reach out to them and provide them the same resources. It's not that they have to be a member of the center. It's just that usually the main way where people are able to get in contact and get contact with those kinds of resources.
The only reason I brought that up is because a lot of times, if you go to other agencies, people don't know about your agency.
It's unfortunate.
They don't know. So I think more publicizing, even if we have to come here and do an healthcare or do a solicitation with me, I think that would be important because it's not meant for the agent, it's out there, but a lot of people don't know what they do and the opportunities they would have to be involved with your agency.
This is one of the reasons I make comes to meetings like this, because it's
That's
specifically
what we
to,
asked you.
to spread this kind of information.
But
to
as
people
you
know what
can
we do.
see, we don't have a lot of people to spread it.
And it's unfortunate. We also don't have as much of a budget to publicize ourselves as we wish. So we've done a couple of small campaigns in the past couple of years targeted for certain things. Like once the some COVID restrictions were coming down, we're trying to get people back into our older adult centers. You probably saw on the buses and trains. We had some advertisements for get back into the centers. We also had an aging campaign to show what it's like for the different ideas of aging, so the anti-ageism campaign to show different older adults on one person was a dancer, one person was still a choreographer, things along those lines. So we do occasionally put out material into the community and into the city at large. So people know that we already exist as an agency. But I do agree that there should definitely be more knowledge in general of what we do.
Because at the city hospital, we don't have the kind of linkage. That's where you see a lot of stuff.
We try to have a connection, so I do work with colleagues in health hospitals. But normally, it's if someone is like reaching out because they need some kind of
That central
resource. Yeah.
You have an agency trying to think or up in the Chicago, there's a heavy population of seniors, particularly up there as well. And I think that they would copy from the two, like, also in the hospital, and go to see the doctor. They want clients, so this is that agency. That's what I'm thinking about, the network.
The patient reps, the social workers, all those people should have that information. I'm not saying they do, but they should.
They should. You'd be surprised as well.
I think a lot of times what happens in my experience with a lot of social workers in hospitals, it tends that they have their own internal resources that they tend to rely on, and so they will connect people to that. And sometimes if they hit a brick wall, they'll reach out. This happens a lot in nursing homes. People say, I'm trying to get my loved one transferred from one place to another, or the case manager here is not assisting in which case we'll then refer them to one of our case management programs to take over.
I have a family member, just to give you some insight experience.
coming from another state to this state, and he's on dialysis. It's severe medical problems, and the social worker was telling him, we don't need to act in the transfer. And I'm saying to him, he told me what? I immediately got on the phone and I called him. And the nursing staff told me there is a social worker that does it. So why was he told that? When I called her back, she told me, I got in touch with this person. So I'm saying, people don't know or don't give out information. Why would you text that to him? Why would you let him come into another state on dialysis with no information? That would be a difficult situation. He's already hooked up with this dialysis center on St. Anne's Avenue. There's one person in that office with a signature, but like you said, don't know. That doesn't. He's already hooked up with St. Anne's dialysis. I hooked him up with Nick. He's going there, make an appointment with the primary. That's what I'm saying. Like he said, it's controls the social workers. They only
It's also different because a lot of those organizations are privately run, so it's different. We're a city agency, so when we communicate with other city agencies, it's a lot easier to share information. And it's, for example, nursing homes, a lot of those are privately run, so the full extent of what we can do. A lot of people don't realize we actually don't have anything to do with nursing homes. It's the Department of Health that has a small oversight. We do have an ombudsman's office that deals with this. You can come to us if there are issues and we can refer to them. But a lot of times we will tell you, make sure you're to the Department of Health because they're the ones with oversight over what's happening inside of the other conditions.
I'm one of those that it's just a nursing home for me.
Maybe some more PSAs on the issues and little, the Spanish language channels and the regular channels, and also to sort of focus on the seniors. You said there was 300 senior centers in New York City. Then they should, someone, either director or if there's a social worker involved, then your agency should reach out to everyone. It's a lot, but send information that we are available and we're willing to come and do an in-service like you did here to let people know, what services are available to them. My question for
I
you.
want to
Okay, Ms.
have a question. I'm not going to take up all your time.
Go ahead.
The banks that we've been discussing on 28th Street.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of issues
Yeah.
related to the banks. What is it specifically?
They don't have a senior.
They're not relegated, they're not mandated, they're mandated to do a disabled window.
You're talking about the lower window?
No, a specific window just for disabled, but it's good to say no window specifically for seniors. The banks that we have spoken to so far is just Chase for
Chase, TD.
Yeah, we sent letters out and we're asking, what accommodations can be made? And their response is they don't have the personnel in order to set up a specific, that was one problem, right? That they don't have the personnel to set up a specific window for seniors. But our recommendation was to double up, disabled can also be senior, okay? Because people are waiting, sometimes the lines are out the door, they need to stand there, it needs to be aware, there's people with wheelchairs or walkers outside, to help them in, and there's a safety issue, as we know, on 149th Street, with all these street vendors, it's very crowded, so we're in communication with them, but, did you want this department to kind of,
My issue is this, we have all these agencies that say that they come to see. They need to report social media. But most of them don't. This is an issue. If anybody go out there on the first, you can see the issue. They all the way out the door. So this is something that these senior departments and stuff need to take care of. If you say you're helping the seniors, how are we helping them when we can't give them access to the things that they really need? It's not that we're going to make an agency give them something, but what else can we do?
these are private sectors, like he was saying, it's kind of hard, they can recommend, and maybe they can
It's a lot of
say,
advocacy. on
yeah,
our
and
part,
advocacy on our part, this is where motivation,
A good avenue, I'm sorry for jumping, a good avenue is also explore a lot of times the topics of legislation, so council members or assembly members, sometimes lobbying them to break up legislation that may create the kind of change. So making it so that banks have to provide some kind of services specifically for adults, like maybe use certain neighborhood acres along those lines. Or maybe in areas where the high preponderance of older adult population, you can do something along those lines. That sometimes is a good way because you can then enforce that kind of change. This could be, a lot of times when organizations make changes, it's not because they're doing it good ways. Because they're choosing to make the good decision, the proper decision. I can definitely reach back. We have a unit that deals with public and private partnerships. So that has done pretty sure work with banks in the past. I can see what they say and see if they've had to implement it specifically. Because this could be something that we could definitely advocate for, but I don't see why it wouldn't be an issue.
That's what we're doing here.
So you're saying on the first of the month, is it almost all seniors that are just kind of like being outdoors and everyone in general?
The line is out the door, but the seniors, because they're in walk good.
Right, of course.
Some of them have walk attendants. They can't even be standing up all that time, especially in the heat. That's what it gets to me, in the heat. Like the other day, the first chicken bang. My God, and the whole street was crowded. Just trying, to get inside and I was like feeling sorry for them. I said, well, there's no seats. So that's it. My second one was homes. Do you give seniors homes? You tell them they can go get
We don't, but we can sometimes connect people, let them know there's a provider or like a nonprofit that might be doing that. We can provide that information.
And I just asked that because it's not in the concrete now. They're not giving up the senior lines.
Yeah, and they just recently stopped the affordable connectivity program also. I think they recently just the funding ended for it. The funding right now, it was only a year long. The Biden administration. Well, it's frustrating because then they offer people services. It's happened in the night buildings. They say, hey, we're going to do free high-speed internet. And then a year later, it's like, by the way, this is now cutting off. And so the service you've been having access to, you've now built to rely on, it's just being taken away.
I know some of the seniors, but was trying to teach how to do it. I belong to senior center. Bronx Works is one of the senior center. And what you were saying about the transportation, they take us to Walmart. They take us to Walmart. We have a calendar for the month.
On exit 87.
Yeah, they said, they take us to Walmart. They take us to City Island. They have a calendar. It's right up here on 16th Street, right there. Projects right there. But they told her that maybe that's because they're in that building, but they're not a part of that.
It could be different. Yeah, because each provider is different with their budgets. They do things different. So some of them could put more money into having to saving like having a bus and bus transportation and versus something
I
else.
say this all they gonna do is play bingo.
Yeah,
And that's
don't take their bingo away.
I got that complaint a couple of times.
Quick question, Mr. Melendez. You gave us a phone number, the 212 number.
It's
Now, is that also a number for the, let's say if someone needs health insurance information, counseling assistance?
Yes, so
they call that number
also
as
yeah,
well?
so that's like the
General?
yes, the general number for all of us. So you can reach out to that number if you're looking for your nearest older adult center, if you're looking to be connected with ICAP, if you're looking for connection with our elder justice unit, any of those meetings, any of the services, you can reach out to that number. And some agent can take the information down and then they'll
Can I make copies of this?
All right, and we have yours, which I think actually I have it from, have your specific information.
yes, I should information she gets from there as well, and that Anthony has as well, and we're free to share. Because I'm always happy to comment and speak and come get to the community. He's here yesterday for the BSc, was in, I don't know, BSc is more, someone from community college, and I'm back here today. I like going out to the community, not just like talking about agents or something.
Just say it out loud, Mr. Melendez.
Yes, 212-402. I'm sorry, 212-602-4262. It's 602-4262.
If there's no further questions, thank you so much for coming. It was very informative and helpful.
Thank you, sir.
And we are going to continue with our meeting. You're welcome to exit if you want, or you're welcome to stay.
I'll sit for a few minutes.
Okay. All right, the next item on our agenda. old business government. So, we did get, Mr. Jordan, you want to speak on it?
Sure, thank you, Madam Chair. So, and the emphasis about making, and what we're talking about, and I'm going to build on what Mr. Director was talking about. Of course, there, we unfortunately have also a population of students who are depending on check cashing and other unconventional financial institutions to do their banking because of what the experience have been. It's not only that about the long lines outside, but also about the interactions that students are having on the issue commercial corridor, panhandling and scamming.
So they're afraid of
aggressive. There have been some assaults that have unfortunately happened, and also going into the ATM machines after banking hours, the security issues with folks that unfortunately have open drug use that's happening, hypertension that's happening in larger districts. So we're working with, glad as you heard with your CEO yesterday, with the mayor's office under the NST project is going to look at a host of issues that are relating to community work. One, we're setting up a business agreement like that under our leadership to make it happen. Building on what what's happening on
I said the same.
That's TD Bank. There we go. There is going to be, excuse me, TD Bank reached out to us and they're eager to work with the community board and the Bronx President's office to conduct a workshop with our senior population, not only in this community but throughout the district and potentially other organizations that can help recruit. They're going to work with us to recruit folks to educate seniors about fraud prevention and financial protection. We know a lot of our seniors are also concerned about using technology to do banking because of also the hyperinflation that happening in the district. Recently, that I talked about in DSC, there have been a lot of folks who have lost their stamps, their benefits because of scamming that's happened with that. Folks who live in New York City saw their stamps being used in North Carolina, Texas, other parts of the country. And so we're working closely the chairperson, Dennis Byrne, about how do we get our senior or aging population become more comfortable with the use of technology safely in the ways that to be able to deal with their financial transactions. So TD Bank has asked that we consider some dates to work out specifically maybe if not here at Hostess Community College to be able to host this event about again how do we work to educate our aging population about fraud prevention, financial protection. Ms. Burns talked about a story I find unfortunately common among seniors where folks reach out to you and try to use about tips, name or situation to try to get you just transaction $7. And I know that Mrs. Luba talked about everyone's a fixed income and to lose any money at all where you have or if those who live in city buildings they want to have your money on rent or if you want to be able to take care of your day-to-day increase in food costs, etc. It's important to be able to save every penny you can. So we want to work to make sure our city is in completion. Let's get this
When are you aiming to have that?
They
this is
wanted to
discussion.
have it in July, but I don't know if that's practical, being that we're already almost in the middle of June. I don't know, what do you guys think? They said sometimes early July,
Right, so days open.
so the dates are open.
You're getting FIP involved as well, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because I'd say if it's in July and early, would be better, but later July, they're going to be focused on national right now for sure.
You know, it's August, right?
Yeah, that's
Right.
the first Tuesday in August. I think it's a great idea. Fraud prevention. I know recently one of the results of the cabinet was actually developing a senior liaison in every precinct. So every precinct now in their community affairs unit has an officer that's dedicated specifically to adult-related matters. So
That's what's been instituted.
I believe so. So every
It was
precinct.
identified at the town hall meeting with the mayor.
Correct. Yes. That's quite specifically what it was. So each precinct now, Fair Union has one officer dedicated specifically to owner-owned issues. So if you have, fraud or any kind of scam, there's an officer who's trained and has knowledge of the resources to specifically address those things.
Do you know who it is in the 401? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say too. Because I saw the 401. I'd like to know the name. Because I know Ramos is driving him here, but I'm.
So we can share that immediately after this meeting.
I don't have a list with me, but I know we should. It took a while to get everything kind of settled, but I do know that we found a official list for it. We definitely would be interested in coming to that. I just kind of, speaking because I know we have our own elder justice union. I'm sure that'll be more than happy to come speak and talk about different tactics or other strategies that they're going to use to make sure they keep themselves safe and they don't, they do as much as possible to prevent themselves from being victims of these kinds of crimes, which, as you said, are just increasing as we become more dependent on cell phones and whatnot. It's the difference between these two, unfortunately.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sure. How many people do use technology to handle the banking?
Well, some things, but I try to stay away from technology at all. I don't email.
So you share your kind of information, or
The only thing I don't do is get cash, of course, if you can, but I do everything else online.
some people, I mean, and is it,
If I want money, I have to go to the bank.
Oh,
Or an ATM machine, which I have to pay.
but if you go to your particular bank, you don't have to pay that.
No, but if I go to a other
Right, we
ATM,
go
I have
somewhere
to pay.
else.
I pay double to pay from the bank and pay the ATM, so I refuse to do that.
As a senior, well, I was taught in a senior, like this is what we tell people. My mortgage, my car deficit, all of that comes out automatically when my check comes in.
Yeah.
So anything else, I would go to the bank for that money, change the character, and that would be it. Don't make frequent trips to the bank because you never know who's watching. That's what they told us. And another thing, like they said, be careful with your code. Somebody's behind you or standing there, so you be careful. This isn't a trash. It's regular.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And so, I'm not available July and August. That doesn't mean that you can't have something, but I would like to see, like, each of us bring in at least 5 or 6 people to these things.
Yeah, well, first we have to find out hostos. They will host us, and then the dates available, and then go from there.
Why you can't have it here?
It's not big enough.
But you don't even know if you're going to have that kind of crowd. Because we don't even look at us now.
it's either or. I mean, I think that we're not the only group they're reaching out to, but that it's a bunch of groups they're reaching out to to try to think about that. Even to make it open to all the sectors and the southern people.
Because the Bronx works and
But our problem is us.
Sure.
We're not going to get anywhere and combine it with somebody else. We got to take care of our district. This is how we get lost because they centralize everything.
But I think the topic is like general. They want to give out general help in
They want to
terms
give
of,
them
right, they want to give out
City
general.
Bank offered to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever you want to do, I'm not available for most of my police and stuff.
So should we try to get it done for the first week in July? If we can coordinate the and hostos, does everybody agree or?
Would it be something that
I'm
folks
on
would be
third
interested
and
in?
I didn't know right now. We are.
Yay, no,
I would.
you're not gonna be available. The students, what do you think? Elena?
Well,
Okay, and then Elena was part of the senior, we have to contact the 5 or 6 centers that are in our area, catchment area, and get to the directors, thinking transportation or whatever it's gonna take. That's why I said, look, it's too quick,
It is too good.
because we have to get transportation
And you got about 2
involved.
weeks in this month.
Yeah.
It is too quick.
I'll follow up and then I'll keep you, of course,
Okay.
in the loop, and it's available.
All right.
But understanding that, again, as multiple agencies engaged, so this is an exciting opportunity,
Yeah.
for folks to do. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Definitely. Okay, so that was old business, and I want to add another. Okay, we're going to do business, sorry. That's me. I did contact Eastside Settlement, and I spoke to the coordinator there. And
What's your name?
yes, her name is Dara Espinosa. Daida Espinosa. And she was very positive about coordinating with the youth committee and the senior committee and planning activities for the seniors there at least once, maybe twice during the summer. Okay, so we'll start with East Side Settlement and then we'll rotate to the other senior centers, starting calendar year. Well, we said we wanted to combine with the youth committee, that they would
The
be,
new committee here.
yes, the CB1 youth committee and the senior committee to plan at least one activity with the seniors at the senior center. Whatever that is, we don't know yet, okay? It depends on what is needed and, how we can work it out. So that's something we need to coordinate with, and we're gonna start, like I said, with the side settlement, staying up. Diana Espinosa, she was agreeable to, so we're gonna visit her, and I'll get the chair of the youth committee and maybe a couple of members, and we'll go over and meet with them and see what the need is, and plan accordingly. And one event in July and one event in August, work it out. Okay, so the people are not always around, but somebody will get out. Yes, Mr.
First of all, you said it's a house, senior center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yes. That, right? Then you got,
But the one right at Whitney, that one on 130.
no, but then you better have it. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
East side house. Yeah, east side.
But not all on 138th Street?
No,
No, but it said 138. Better than 1. It says, Patterson and Morris.
Okay, so we want to start with 138, because I think that's where Daida is. Okay, so but she's the only person I have struggled to. We can do the other centers, I don't have a problem with that, and I'm sure the youth
but see, it's difficult.
committee won't have a problem with them either, but we have to start somewhere.
It's difficult.
I just, hold on.
Okay, Pass is longest building stand project in Bronx County. It got 470,000 apartments. You got a whole lot of seats. You got sports center. The center on Day Street. Cities that live in Mitchell and Miss Houston back there, they don't cross the street to attend that particular center. Then you got the one Rose, the second longest stand project in Bronx County.
Okay, so that's
So you
why
could-
we're going to settle on doing each center separately, we're not going to
Okay.
combine.
But if you find it, what you got to do, what can be done, and you make a way means a community of a trans, because what is the lunch is prepared in one center, or all three centers. And it's shipped out. But the
Okay.
people, they only go to their local centers.
All right, what we're trying to do is to have some planned activity
Yes,
for one day
yes.
starting with the center on 138th Street. Out of that may come other centers or other activities or depends on how many people want to get involved and how often, because this is all volunteers, so we can't speak for other people. Yes, Mr. Wood.
It's like anything else. Some people come to the certificate,
Right.
they come to lunch, they eat after the certificate. And you say that the development don't come to lunch. They don't like to come to lunch. Just to lunch. Or either it's something going on with Jesus. You understand what I'm saying? Because first of all, I don't know if y'all realize, but we have food children of indigenous folk. And not only that, Richard, Patterson, and Melrose. And I have to admit, she got to say, they got to do a call to the stuff.
Surely.
I mean, look, Chili, I got a picture. I was shocked. They said it's about this. We have a food group just for, and they travel from one to the next. And railroads, they come prepared. I thought I was going to college. But I'm just saying that the whole lot of things go to the center. But a whole lot of people do not get started. They just come, get lunch, and eat.
Well, that's your prerogative, I mean, you can get as involved as you want.
You can't complain about anything and not have decisions. That's what I'm saying. And for us to have a juice to it, that's much have to say.
Right. It's my understanding is that this would be something that the senior committee, the youth committee is doing for the first time.
Yes,
Collaborating together, to have a day together.
yes, yes.
That's all it is. Has nothing to do with the individual center. There's one particular center, the senior committee here, and the youth here will collaborate together on that one particular day and share whatever activities.
That's correct, and then we'll go from there, we'll see how that works out, and we'll get suggestions from, that center, what they want us to get involved in, or how much they want us to get involved, and then we'll move on to the next center, and so on and so forth.
Have you raised these people outline?
No, we haven't met yet, so the first thing is the seniors, the youth have to meet together first, and then we'll move on to the next, yes,
See if we
definitely.
have the same goals.
Yeah, definitely. There's a different energy level.
That's
For sure.
before we go to that next step.
Yeah.
You know, how we're gonna achieve this goal and what's gonna come out of it, right?
All right, so we, Mr. Jordan or myself will contact, those of you who will still be
I'm probably making up for that one, for that eight.
Yeah, we'll let you know when the meeting is happening. And okay, moving on. Moving on. Okay, the next item is, I would like to nominate, Miss Elena, pero por favor, pronúnciame su apellido porque no quiero, Vazquez, Elena Vazquez, as my co-chair. She is the community, member, and I would like someone to second that nomination. Okay, double second. And any discussion? Okay, those all in favor, say hey, yay.
Yeah,
Against,
yeah, no, board, 100%.
abstentions? Okay, Elena?
Congratulations.
It's my vice chair. No, está bien. Tenemos paciencia aquí. Thank you. All right. And my last item will be, if we have time, because it's a little after 2, I won't keep you more than 5 minutes. The next item is if anybody has suggestions for, because we're going on hiatus July and August, we're not meeting the board, but do we have any suggestions for our next calendar year, September, things that we would like to work on? And just suggestions, we're not going to discuss it because we don't have time for that now, but just a list of your suggestions, and I'll take 5. This is
Senior committee outreach. 2020, senior committee outreach.
okay. Any other suggestions? All right, I'm going to add to that the possibility of TV back, because we don't know if we're going to be able to get it done in time for the July that they're requesting, so TV back presentation. Any other suggestions? All right, having none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second, round.
Can I just?
Oh.
Young people in my development did a mural.
I didn't what?
You painted,
A mural. Okay.
yes, and we have a little cut and stuff on the side. And I was one o'clock.
Did you give it to Mr. Jordan so they can put it in the newsletter?
I think James might have sent it to us from Matt and Seth.
Yes. But I had to.
And that was done by the youth, or by the seniors?
Yeah, James told us about it.
Was that done by the youth or seniors? By youth or seniors?
But everybody,
Oh, it was done by everybody.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's part of the national certificate.
All right, so we'll put that in the records, and if you could, if it's not already in the newsletter, if you have a copy, give it to Mr. Jordan. So, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you all for coming. And as I promised, I will let you know when we have that.